Hey guys, welcome back to the class. This session is about register allocation and assignment. And in this session, we are going to discuss what is the benefit of doing the register allocation and assignment here. We know that the registers are used to hold the operands in an expression. And so whenever we have an instruction that involves only register operands, then that can be executed more faster than the instruction that is involving memory operands. So that is the main benefit of using register here. That is, we can say that here the register actually runs faster than memory. So this will also increases the speed of a processor, and therefore here efficient utilization of register is important for generating a good code. And in this section, so it is presenting various strategies for deciding the registers, that is what value should reside in register and in which register that value should reside. So all these register allocation and register assignment should be decided by various strategies, and we have an approach for this register allocation and assignment, that is to assign specific values in the target program to certain registers. For example, we could decide to assign base addresses to one group of registers and arithmetic computations to another group of register, then the top of stack to a fixed register. Likewise, so we can decide to assign the addresses to registers. So the advantage of this approach is actually it simplifies the design of a code generator. Now we will discuss about this global register allocation. So in the previous code generation algorithm, actually it uses registers to hold values for the duration of a single basic block. But however, the live variables will be stored only at the end of the block. So to save some of these stores and load operations, so here we are arranging the registers, and that registers can be assigned to variables which can be used frequently in the program, and these registers will keep the frequently used values inside it, and these registers will be consistent across block boundaries. So that is why it is called as global register allocation. That is, even across the blocks we can access this register, and the register will be consistent for all the blocks. And we know that programs spend most of its time in executing the loops, and that too most of the programs spend their time in executing inner loops only. So in order to increase the time of executing this inner loop, so here we can go for this global register assignment, so which keeps the frequently used value in a fixed register throughout the loop. So this is what the global register allocation is. Then the next is the usage count, so which is an important concept here, and in this usage count we are going to determine the cost of savings of instructions. For calculating or for determining the count or cost, here we have the formula. So sigma use of x comma b plus 2 star live of x comma b. So here use of x comma b means here we are going to determine how many times the variable is used inside a particular block, and live means, so here we are taking it as live on exit. So we are going to verify the variable that is live on exit from the particular block. Let us consider this flow graph, and this flow graph contains 4 blocks, that is B1, B2, B3 and B4. So in this flow graph, if we take the block B1, it contains 3 statements, and here these are the live on exit variables of this block B1. And coming to B2, it contains only 1 statement, and here the C, D, E, F are the live on exit variables from the block B2. In the same way, in block B3, it contains 2 statements, and here B, C, D, E, F are the variables that are live on exit from block 3. And coming to the 4th block, so it contains 1 statement, and here B, C, D, E, F are the live on exit variables from block B4. Now based on this, we are going to count the cost of these in statements. So for calculating the cost, as I mentioned, here we have this formula, and here use of x comma b. So when we are determining the use of x comma b, then we have to set the value as 1 when it satisfies this condition. That is, here we are going to calculate the number of times the x is used. So the number of times, how many number of times that particular variable is used inside that particular block. And there is one more rule, that it should not be preceded by an assignment statement. So whenever we are considering a block, the variable that is present inside the block, that should not preceded by an assignment to that particular variable in the same block. So if these conditions are satisfied, then we can determine the use of that variable inside the block. So we have to calculate the number of times the particular variable is used inside the block. And coming to the liveness, so here we are going to assign the value as 1 for the liveness of a variable when that variable is live on exit from that particular block. Also, that variable should be assigned a value in that particular block. So if these rules are satisfied, if these conditions are satisfied, then we can assign the value as 1 to this function live of x comma b. Otherwise, we have to set it as 0. So likewise, we have to find the cost for each and every variable in a block. So now let us consider the same flow graph, and in this flow graph, first we will take this block 1. So here in this block 1, we have variables a, b, c, d, e, f, and in block 2 we have f, a, d, and in block 3 we have b, d, f, a, e, c, and in block 4 we have b, d, c. So now first let us take the variable a, and we will determine the cost of this variable a in all the blocks. So based on that, we can select the register to hold what type of variable, or which value to hold throughout the program. So we can decide based on the cost here. So first let us take the variable a that is present in block 1. We have to find the use of a comma b1 and then liveness of a in b1. So for that, what is the rule? We have to find the number of times the variable a is used in block b1. So this is block b1, and if you look at here, we have a here, and it is used only one time in this block. This is one condition for this use of a comma b1. And what is the next condition? This a value should not be assigned with any other value. So when you look at these two statements that is preceding this statement, so in this preceding statements we have to look whether a is assigned with any values or not. So if that is the case, here you can see in this statement a is assigned with some values. So here we cannot take this variable a that is used in this block b1. So we should assign 0 to this function. So now it calculates the value that is 0 for this a comma b1. After that, we have 2 multiplied by, then we have to check for the liveness of a in b1. So at the end of this block b1, here the variable a is live on exit. So when it is when it is live on exit, we also have to verify whether this a have any assignment statements. And here we have a which has an assignment statement here, right? So now it is considered as 1. So now calculating the value, we will get 2. That is 0 plus 2 star 1, which is 2 here. And in the same way, now we have to check for a in block 2. So use of a in block 2. So when you take block 2, so in block 2 we have to first verify where a is used. So where a is used here, and also we have to check whether it is preceded by any assignment statement. It is not preceded by any assignment statement, and here it is used in, that is, it is used only once in this block b2. So now the value that is use of a comma b2 is 1 plus 2 star. Then we have to find liveness of a comma b2. So we have to check whether the variable a is live on exit from b2. So here it is not live, so now the value of live of a comma b2 is 0. So the cumulative, I mean the sum, that result will be 1 here. Then coming to a comma b3, so we need to verify a in b3. So here we have a in b3 and it is not proceeded by any assignment statement. So, and the number of times a used in this block b3 is 1. So here we have to consider the value 1. Then liveness of a comma b3, so here at the end of b3 a is not live, so here also the value will become 0 and the result is 1 here. Then coming to a comma b4, so that is we have to check in the block 4 for a. So in block 4 here we don't have the use of a and it is 0 here. After that we have to check for liveness of a comma b4. So at the end of b4 the a is not live here, right? So that the value will be 0 again, and finally the result will be 0. So after calculating the all these values, now we have to perform summation of all these values. So when we do summation of all these values, so 2 plus 1 plus 1, so we'll get the result 4, and here the summation value is 4. So in the same way, now we have to find b, that is use of b and liveness of b in all the blocks. So first considering block 1, so in block 1 we have to check use of b. So here we have used b and here we have used b. So after checking this use, now the next rule is we need to check whether the proceedings there is any preceding statements with assignments here. So here we don't have any proceeding statements of b with assignment. So here we can take the number of times the variable b is used in this block. So here we have 2 and the count 2 will be taken here plus 2 into, and now we should check for liveness of b at the end of block 1. So at the end of block 1 here b is not live, so it is taken as 0. Now the result will be 2 here. Again, now we have to check for b in b2. So in b2 we don't have the use of b, so it is 0 plus 2 into the, now checking the liveness of b, and here at the end of b2 we don't have a liveness of b, so it is 0 and the result will be 0 here. Then coming to block 3, here we don't have use of b, so which is 0 again. Then calculating the liveness of b, so at the end of b3 here the value, that is b is live on exit, and after checking this live on exit we have one more rule here, that is this b should be assigned with some value in that particular block. Yes, here is a statement which is assigning some value to the variable b, and now we have to consider this live on exit, that is life of this b in block 3 as 1, and when you take the result will be 2 here. Then taking block 4, in block 4, so we need to check for b. Here we don't have the use of b, so which is 0 again. Then checking the liveness of b, so at the end of this block 4 we have live for b, and also in this block we have the assignment statement for b, so the live will be considered as 1 here, and the result will become 2 now. So when taking the summation of all these values, so we will get 6. Likewise, we have to calculate the use and liveness of all the variables like C, D, E and F in all the blocks. So when we calculate the values, then we will get these values, that is the cast for A is 4 and cast for B is 6, cast for C is 3 and D is 6, E 4 and EF 4, and these costs are nothing but, so we are saving this much cost when we are using these variables, that is when we are allocating when we are allocating this variable A to a register, then we can save 4 cast here, and when we are allocating the variable b to a register, then we can save the cast 6. Likewise, when we are allocating the variable c to a register, then we can save the cast 3. So based on this, we can decide which variables to allocate to a register. So for example, let us consider we have a 3 registers here, that is R0, R1 and R2. So based on this cast, we have to decide which register to hold which value in order to save the time here. So when you look at here, we have B which has the higher cast 6, and we have D which has the higher cast 6. So what we can do here is we can assign these variables to registers, two registers, that is B and D can be assigned to register R0 and R1, so that we can save many highest cost here. Then if you see the remaining variables, so A, E, F, so these 3 variables have the same cost saving, that is 4. So we can either assign A or E or F to this register R2. So here we can either assign A, or we can assign E, or we can assign F variable here, so that this will reduce, or here we can save 4 cost. So this is how we can calculate the usage count of a register, and we can allocate the registers for the variables in an efficient way. Then next is the register assignment for outer loops. So the previous example is actually for an inner loop. So we have seen the flow graph for inner loop, and in the same way we can assign the register for outer loops, that is we may apply the same idea to the enclosing loops also, that is outer loops also. So when we are allocating a variable to a register in inner loop, then we must load that particular variable on entrance of that inner loop, and we have to store that variable on exit from that inner loop. So this is how we can do the register assignment for outer loops. And the next one is register allocation by graph coloring. So here the case is when a register is needed for computation, but all the available registers are in use, which is there is no empty register here, or there is no available register to hold a new variable there. So what we can do here is, then the content of one of the used register should be stored into a memory location for freeing up that particular register. So we can free a register by storing the value of that register into a variable. So this process is actually called as spilling. Here we are using a graph coloring process, that is, it is a simple and systematic technique for allocating the registers and managing this register spills. In this method, we are using 2 passes. In the first pass, here the target machine instructions are selected, and the names that is used in the intermediate code actually becomes the names of the register, and the 3 address instructions becomes the target language instructions. In the second pass, here we have a register interference graph. So this graph is constructed, and this graph contains nodes as well as edges, and here nodes corresponds to symbolic registers, and here an edge connects 2 nodes if one is live at a point where the other is defined. For example, let us consider there are 2 names A and D. Now these 2 names acts as the nodes of this coloring graph, that is A is one node and D is another node here. And in the block B1, if you look at the previous example, in this block B1, here A is live at the second statement. So in the second statement, here A is live, and this defines the statement D. So in the second statement, we are defining D, and still A is live in this statement. So therefore, what we can do is we can make an edge between the nodes A and D. So there will be an edge existing between A and D here. And in this graph coloring method, here we are going to color all the register indifference graphs using k colors. There is k number of colors here. And so a graph is said to be colored if each node has been assigned a color. That is, there should not be adjacent nodes having the same color. So that is how we have to color the nodes in a graph. And here this color represents the register, and it makes sure that no two symbolic registers can interfere with each other. That is, no two nodes should have the same color. It means that the registers are not assigned or are not allocated to the allocated to more than one variable here. So this is the second pass of this register allocation method. These are all the register allocation and assignment strategies we have.